Okay, so I am here with Jack and Sue, who are married, husband and wife that did the program together. And we're just going to kick off some questions with you guys and how the program went and how you did, how you felt, and just some other changes that you guys experienced as well on the program. So, first question is how many pounds did each of you lose on the 90-day program?
So right now, as of this morning, I'm at 37 and a half pounds. My
Awesome.
goal is 40. I still think I'm going to hit it. I'm just going to,
Yeah.
I'll get there. Hmm.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Sue, how about you?
And I'm currently at like 20, 21 pounds. I kind of fluctuate,
Yeah.
give or take a few pounds each day. At one point I was at 23 pounds, but
Yeah.
I figure whenever people ask, I just say, oh, it's 20 pounds. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. But that's great because you fluctuate, you know how to get back to if you've had an event or anything like that. So that's great. How have you guys felt since losing the weight?
I I think we both have felt really, really good.
Yeah.
A lot more energy. Honestly, if I didn't get a nap in every afternoon, I was useless. Now it's like I don't get a nap. Even if I try to take a nap, I can't. So I
Yeah.
just, I don't have those ups and downs from the carbohydrates and stuff. And I just feel better all the way around. It's been incredible.
Awesome. Awesome. Sue, how about you?
I think my biggest takeaway from this is just the fact that I have, and my family knows this, I have stomach issues. And so whenever I would eat Mexican or eat dairy or eat anything like spicy, anything, it just always upset my stomach. And going through this, I can count on one hand, maybe twice, that I've had a stomach ache in 90 days,
Yeah.
since, and just from the very beginning, I was so bloated, so needed this. And, just kind of did a turnaround with my stomach, and it just feels great to be able to not worry about I'm not worry about how I'm going to feel.
Right. Right. And that's a big change too, because so much digestion issues, especially like you said, the bloating, can contribute not just to weight gain, but a whole host of other GI issues. So getting to that and getting to those root causes affects just how you how you eat, how what you eat at restaurants, and so being able to help with that and bring that inflammation down, yeah, definitely a game changer. What other changes did you guys notice or experience since going through the program? Anything with your sleep or energy, things like that? I know a couple people had some skin issues that had cleared up. Any other changes that you guys noticed?
And I think I know that she mentioned the digestion that I kind of forgot about that. That's the same with me. That was a big change for me, not having the stomach cramps and the pains and just feeling better all around.
Yeah.
I do sleep better at night. I've been focusing on drinking more water. So I think I've had one headache in 90 days where quite honestly, I used to get headaches just about every day.
Oh,
I don't know
wow.
if it was dehydration or what it was, but just being on the program is just, made me feel better in every aspect. I mean, I can't think of anything
Yeah.
that's gone the other way. Everything has been positive.
Right. That's awesome. Stu, anything for you?
Well, I've never been known to sleep. So I'm a podcaster, and I pretty much have my phone on all night long as it's going. And I wake up to certain voices, and it's weird. So, and I know that's a bad thing because even people have told me that you need to get light and everything out of your bedroom. And I'm like, no, I like light on. I like noise. I'm a white noise person anyway, but whatever. And I just think that not so much skin issues, but again, digestion, and it's nothing so much with my sleep, because I've always had sleep issues. So
Yeah.
it didn't help so much with that.
Yeah.
But just ultimately, again, we both work from home, basically. He travels some, but yeah, those midday naps, they were a regular occurrence and not now. I
Yeah.
mean, if I even once a week get to sit down or something, within 5 minutes I'm wide awake again. I mean, I just don't need a nap.
Yeah.
It's just that um, yeah,
You
don't.
got energy
I
now.
got a lot more energy. Yeah,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
enough energy to be able to take on a lot of um, activity, exercise, and things
Yeah.
like that because of the calorie intake and stuff. I found very much that I didn't have a lot of that kind of energy, but it wasn't the energy where I needed a nap during the day.
Right.
So,
Right. And then what were some difficulties that you guys experienced on the program?
For me, I love my carbs. I love my bread, my bagels. I would have 2 bagels every morning at 7 o'clock, and now I
Wow.
cut that out completely. Um, and so it was hard for me to get through that first week.
Yeah.
But the thing was, I saw the weight drop so fast. It's like, oh, this is working. So then, it just gives you the
Goodness.
incentive to keep going. But that was the hardest part. It was just the food restrictions early on.
Yeah.
But after a while, it really is not even a big deal. I mean, I went out to dinner, Chester's restaurant in Rochester's, by the way, with my boss, and we're gonna have steak dinners and stuff, and which you can have. But I found myself wanting a salmon salad, and I never would have done that
That's awesome.
3 months ago. So it's like you get used to eating it, and it's
Yeah.
good. You feel like you don't like. I don't think I'm going to change. I'm just going to keep on what I've been doing. I mean, I'll probably have more cheat days, but
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
most part, I just want to continue the intermittent fasting and the
Yeah.
dieting. The not really the dieting, but just the way that I eat.
Right. And choosing foods that make you feel good. Like you start to realize, when you do have the cheat days, which everybody has a cheat day in the program, but then they realize, wow, I didn't feel very good after that.
Mm-hmm.
Or wow, that really actually sat heavy, or my bloating is coming back. So you start to understand like what certain foods are not just doing to your weight, but doing to your body internally.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, I know what it feels like to live over here in, the salmon salad land. And so
Mm-hmm.
going back to that heavy meal or that heavy starch, you're just kind of like, I don't really want to go back to feeling like that
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And so you start to retrain your thinking on what you're actually feeling your body versus just, oh, I'm going to eat the carbs or I'm going to eat the heavy meal. Cause you know what that feels like. And then you know what you've been feeling like. And you're like, I kind of want to stay over here.
Absolutely, I definitely see that. Mhm.
Sue, how about you? What were some difficulties you experienced?
Well, one thing I was going to notice on the positive side was that I had a lot less heartburn. Um,
Yes.
that was a really great takeaway. I like Jack said too, that first week is probably the hardest, just getting used to a different change of pace, cutting out all those sugars and stuff. And I'm a sugar girl and I love my chips. But on the other hand, that first week I struggle with a lot of headaches.
Yeah.
And I'm also not a huge water girl. I try, but that's key. And I get it, but I have to keep reminding myself and then, to drink. So yeah, I think the hardest was probably the first week and just getting used to what you train yourself to what you can have and what you can't have. And when you
Right.
tell yourself you can't have something, it's not forever. It's
Right.
just that if you are sticking to the 90 days, just tell
Yeah.
yourself it's just 90 days. I can do
Yep.
this.
Yep. And you're
Not that you're going to go back and cheat, but
right.
again,
Right.
you add a cheat day here and there.
And knowing that there are, like you said, chips, right? Your thing was like, I want those chips. And knowing like, hey, there's chips out there that are healthy options that you can
Mhm.
have.
Mhm.
those boulder chips that we talked about. I actually just had some this evening. And then knowing too your limitation, right? Like not going back and sitting down and eating a full bag of chips in one sitting, but giving yourself those portion sizes and okay, I can still have the chips, but this is the portion size that stays within my calories and understanding too what your body needs to be fueled on. It isn't a whole bag of chips, right? It's salad, it's the good proteins, it's the good fats. And so it's a different mindset. Your mind starts to shift of what foods, do I like? What are my like mine was always the chocolate. So when we could get to that phase of adding that chocolate, you just kind of get in that habit of I can have it, but this is the portion I need to stick with. And it's kind of changing the mind of that overeating that so many people fall into, which leads to the weight gain, which leads to the high blood pressure, cholesterol, gut issues, and kind of starting to kind of pull the reins back in and control that a little bit more. Did you feel like it was something you couldn't complete? If so, how did you overcome that? Did you ever get to a point where like, oh, I don't know if I can finish this?
Yeah, you have those days where you're just, well, see, Easter was a kicker for me. You know how many Easter, we have a lot of grandchildren, and do you know how many Easter baskets you have to fill and you're not allowed to eat jelly beans? I mean, you don't know this, Megan, but I did have a couple.
Yeah, that was a challenge.
Yeah. But what's Easter without a few jelly beans? But as long as you can reel yourself back in and know, oh, that was bad. I shouldn't have done that. But tomorrow and this week, I'm doing better. Just tell yourself you can do better.
Yeah, and coming back from that, you'd done a birthday party and something else a couple weekends ago.
Baby shower.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, we come back from that. So what do we need to do today to come back from that? And then it's adjusting that to make sure, okay, do we need to adjust what phase you're in? Do we need to adjust, your calories for the next couple of days? And it's just, it's making those adjustments that it's not this complete fall off the wagon, go back to your old ways. It's okay, I had my cheat. Now what do I do moving forward? It's kind of like, especially once you get through the program, it's that 80-20 rule, right? Like 80% of the time you're on point, you're doing it, right? And then you give yourself that 20% grace period. And that's how you get to still live life, enjoy the foods. You're not like, oh, well, I've got to have like a full shake day or something like that. You get to come back and continue, that Monday through Friday, and then you give yourself the weekend kind of thing. Especially when you're getting through and you're getting those goals, you're hitting those goals. Like it's okay to have a cheat day. You're not like, you're not just throwing the whole program off. Now, if you continue that cheat day for weeks, months, obviously you go back. But you've learned and you've got the tools to now go, okay, if I've got that cheat day, I know, Jack, you had done some traveling and you were like, yeah, I had a burger, and you knew how to come back from that and then lose anything you gained and then continue on with your weight loss after that. And that's what that's one of the things we really wanted to make sure we incorporated is giving yourself grace. We're human. We're not going to be on point every single day. But how do you get back from that if you do have a cheat day, and what does that look like? And giving yourself like productive tools so you're not actually just throwing everything away.
Yeah, and that's so key. I can't remember what Diana posted on Facebook.
Oh, the pictures, yes.
Yeah, and she had a quote in there about something about falling and getting back up. It was just in the last couple of days. I wish I would have saved that, but
what's still on there?
Yeah, I'll have to look at that. But it's so true because everybody has those cheat days. As long as you just get back on it the next day and stay on it, and then you do well. I think the diet's a lot more sustainable that way too, because you're not totally depriving yourself of the things that you that you miss, that aren't good for
Right.
you. But yeah, you're gonna have a bad day, but as long, like you say, as long as you get back on and keep going in the program, that's key, and it's really not difficult. It's just understanding
Right.
it.
Right. What was your biggest takeaway from the program?
I think mine was just that I've learned so much about how my body works,
Yes.
and just how the body works together with the fats and the carbohydrates and the sugar spikes and the
Yep.
intermittent fasting. Just really educating, from what I've learned from your program, and then it just piques your interest, so you just start getting in deeper and deeper all the time.
Right.
So I just understand the body a lot more, and I really fascinated by how your body metabolizes food
Right.
and can understand why you're gaining weight and I mean, for carbs, for instance, I mean, every bagel I ate was like 60 grams of carbs. I don't
No.
think I had 60 grams of carbs in 80 days on the program. A couple of cheat days maybe, but you learn stuff, and that's my biggest takeaway is just what I learned about my body, so I can keep this going. I don't ever see myself coming off of this program the
Yeah.
rest of my life. I just, it's just too important.
Right. Right. Sue, how about you?
Um, I learning, like Jack said too, about how your body responds to certain things, how it responds to lower sugar and feeling better and whatever. I still got some hoops to jump through. I know that I have a metabolism hormone issue
Yep.
that at my age is, I mean, sometimes feels insurmountable,
Yep.
but I'm gonna do it. It's gonna take me longer. I just got to figure out tricks, and I got to figure out how my body's going to respond.
Right.
Um, I've always had high cholesterol, so I'm kind of curious
To
to
see what
see,
that is.
yeah, to
Yeah.
see that level on that next time I get a physical or whatever. Just see.
Yes.
Um,
And then
but
I
overall,
think
good health.
too, I think too, it was fun with you guys because I'd walk you through, you'd ask about a food or you'd send me a ingredients list and going through. One of the things I love teaching the clients is how to read the food labels, like not just the nutritional facts, but
Hmm.
what is that little label at the bottom with the ingredients? And
Right.
what does that say? And so many times you're like, oh, I didn't even know that was bad for me, or I didn't know that
Hmm.
oil wasn't a good oil.
Mhm.
And that's fun to because you guys are getting information that you can apply to other things. You can find different healthier versions and options of things that now you've got the tools. Hey, I can go out, I can find those groceries, I can figure this out, and I'm then making the better choice. It's
Hmm.
kind of that good apple, bad apple, like which one do you choose? And when you know the ingredients or what's in it, you're obviously choosing the better option. So that's always fun because not a lot of people know, like there's not a lot of people that know how to read the ingredients list or what you're even looking for when you're
Right.
looking. Everybody was like, well, it doesn't say sugar. Oh, but it says XYZ, which
Mhm.
are all forms of sugar.
Yeah,
You're
that's
like, I
so
didn't.
funny because we're those people now that go to Trader Joe's and Hy-Vee and
Yep.
and read labels now. It's like I always kind of chuckled at people before, but it's like now I get it. I get what they're looking at, and
Yep.
and
Yep.
even like we love our popcorn, and we found a pretty good alternative. That's the extra virgin olive oil.
Yes.
There's only like 2 ingredients, so it's good.
Yep.
That you find little substitutes that are actually just as good and a lot healthier.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I just want to say I want to end with that. You guys were such an inspiration because you guys also chose to do this program together. And that to me is just such a testimony, not just to your own health as individuals, but to your health as a couple, and walking through the program together, just not only um, doing it, supporting each other, but doing it together, just making those, cooking food easier. And it's always fun to see couples do it because there's so much success with the two of them do it, because you're holding each other accountable. We have the group, right?
Mhm.
That the group holds each other accountable, but it's great having a couple do it together and walk through it together, because it's something that you guys you're transforming your household, which is always fun to see. So I just want to give you two props for that. And you guys did great. I'm so proud of you guys. You've learned a lot. You've come a long way. Sue always, I'm a picky eater, and you try new things, and I love it.
I learned to like a few things. I was just going to comment that Jack's the egg maker in our family. So I love easy over eggs. That's my go-to always. And it was about at the probably 70 day mark, he got it down pretty good where he wasn't breaking my yolks. So
you're like, you finally nailed the eggs.
I guess.
Yeah. If anything comes out, he knows how to make my eggs now.
All right. I know everybody, you get a whole new love for eggs when you're on the program, don't you?
You do. And goat cheese too.
Yep.
Yes. I know that's always the shocker for people. Even though I found a few different alternatives for Sue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys coming on, just sharing your story. And again, just so proud of all your hard work and everything you guys have done on the program. So props to you guys.
Well, thank you. And thanks for putting this program out there, because it's, I noticed that before, but it's been a life changer for me. And I just been, I wasn't going down the right path health-wise.
Yeah.
Done a 180, and I really appreciate that. Really appreciate you guys, exposing us to this and teaching us how to do it.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it. Well, thanks guys. Have a great night.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.